And we're back for stage 4 ZRL on double span spin, basically the loops around the New York bridges. This is the final race for ZRL, and frankly, we've had a rough time of it. Our team we're mid to lower mid pack finishes most of this round. It's been a little harder than before because there are fewer teams. They've grouped them all into one group. We're still in development C, but everybody's grouped together rather than further split out into C1 and C2. So we've had a bit of a rough go of it. And today we've only got 4 riders. So this is a points race, so we're going to not really be able to score as many points as we could have. For me, these races just kind of turn into a race within a race. You know, I find my group, my area, and race the people that are around me there. So it's kind of figure that's going to be how this plays out anyway. So let's see what happens. So here's the start, and it's the typical start, hardish, and you can see once we get going here, I pushing 4 watts, upper 3s to 4 watts, which is normal, not too bad. But again, you know, overall strategy: stay with the pack as long as possible, and just hang with it. You look at the course profile. This is actually there's quite a long lead-in to the loops. The course is 3 laps around the 2 bridges, and then the lead-in is the ride to the first bridge. This is a points race, so FAL points at the top of each bridge, and interestingly, the finish is also at the top of one of the bridges. So the finish line is both, you get FIN points and FAL points on the last lap at the finish, so it's worth double, which is, you know, something I want to keep in mind. I want to have enough at the end to, you know, make sure I get as many points at the finish as I can, since it's worth double. So relatively tame lead-in, not too difficult to stay with the pack throughout the lead-in here. We go down into the subway, cruise along there, and you know, you come out of the subway, there's that big steep ramp out, but it's boosted, so it's not really a problem. Yeah, so it's pretty chill all the way through here. And right about here, notice I've got the arrow power up. We got the arrow power up out of the start pins, so you know, the question is always where to use it. These are kind of draggy climbs, but first I made a stupid mistake here. I decided to use my power up here just to kind of give myself a breather before the climb, so I could hopefully stay with the pack. In hindsight, I probably should have held it to the sprint point at the top of the climb, for 2 reasons. One is to get be able to get some points at the line, and also if I'm coming off, I can use it to catch back on to some group that's going over the top. So I didn't make this mistake the next times through this loop, but probably something I should not have done here. So here's the top of the climb and the finish, and I'm kind of taking it easy. I don't really push it here. This is about like 37th place, you know, thereabouts is about where I kind of expect to be and where I've finished some of these other races, or, you know, thereabouts. So I felt like I was kind of in the right spot, and I didn't want to push myself too hard on this. You know, this is just the beginning of the 3 laps, so yeah, I didn't really want to kill myself yet. So this is the recovery part between the two climbs, basically the descent off the first bridge, and then a little bit of a cruise along the flats until we start heading back up. And then this the second climb has got like a little drop that starts. So it starts with a fairly decent descent in this little dip until it starts up here. And then here's another place. You'll notice a bunch of people firing their feathers, which we got at the top of the previous climb. And it's arguably a good idea because this is probably the steepest part of the climb, and your feather is most efficient in the steeper parts. But I didn't fire mine because again, like I said, it's really helpful to have it at the top, not only to help your sprint to get points, but also to have enough speed to catch up to the guys, anybody who's going over the top and you're at risk of coming off. So I didn't fire mine. I tried to hang on to my feather for the end of the climb. So we'll see if that strategy works. I start off in 37th place and start working my way up to the front, and right about here I pop my feather and push hard to get over this top into the sprint, and go over in 30th place. So I picked up 7 points over this top, so pretty happy with that. Of course, I'm gassed and I have to catch back on to the guys who are streaming over the top, but that's not too bad, so I can do that. So once again, descent, recover. You'll notice I've got most of my teammates around me in this little group. It's we stayed together pretty well throughout the race up until really the last half of the last lap. So that worked out kind of good. Here I'm back down to 40th place or whatever, and so here's starting the next climb. And again, I'm trying to be smart, work my way through the pack. And then I've got the arrow power up on this one, so I'm trying to save it to the very top. And right about here, I think, is where I pop the arrow in 32nd place. So try to pick up 1 or 2 spots over the line. Somebody else is sprinting, putting down 4.8 watts to get over there. And so I cross in 30th. So yeah, not too bad. Started the climb in 40th. Got the sprint point at 30th. I'll take that. So easing up over the top, let the pack catch me and give me a place to hide for the descent down and the cruise through the streets. Just kind of trying to recover, trying to get my heart rate back down and stay out of the wind. Setting up for the next climb, the drop down to the little dip, and then starting back up, starting back in 30th or so. Everybody's firing their feathers. I'm trying to hang on for as long as I can without firing. And I try to time it for that last little orange spot just before the top. So right about here is where I fire it. I'm 30th, and I think I hold this 29th position over the top. Yeah. So yeah, not too bad. Still sticking around 30th place there, and again I kind of ease up and let the pack catch me here. And the pack that catches me is not nearly as big as it has been. It's just us 4. There's the other guys are a few seconds behind us, and so it's not quite the help as it was. And here's something I never do. These guys were going slow, and I was kind of worried about everybody else behind us catching. So I got on the front and started pushing a little harder to get this group moving. I never do that. I'm always out of the wind and trying to save energy, but it felt like we were just going too slow. So I cranked it up a little bit. Not much, but we were just doing nothing before, so it seemed like the thing to do. Didn't last long. I let those guys get back in front, and the guys behind us caught us anyway, so here we go, starting the next climb again, 34th place as usual. But I got my arrow and I pushed pretty hard to get up to this other group and end up going through them a bit. And I think I get up to, 26th. I think this is I think I just tag onto the back end of this group that's going through the top and finish in 26 on this time through. So I was actually kind of happy with that. Better than my 30th the previous time through. So cool. And of course it's rinse and repeat. Things get stretched out here. I get a little dig to try to keep up with the guys going over top, and then hook in with this group. I think we catch up to this smaller group ahead here and sort of rejoin, and back into 34th or 33 on the next climb, and basically the same kind of thing. Just trying to hold my own. And this is the last lap, so it's there's 2 more hills, this one and then the finish on the next hill. So I don't want to kill myself on this one. I think I just kind of hang in at 30th or so for this climb. I fire my feather, but I don't pick up any spots. Actually, maybe 32nd or whatever. So I just I was saving it for this next one. And here is where this group ahead of us gets away. These guys I'm with, we could probably bridge to that little group ahead of us, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to blow up for the next climb. These guys are thinking the same thing. So basically this turns into a battle for us 4 on this last spot for 32 to 28. So I'm just sitting in and hoping I can outsprint these guys at the top. And so right about here, things are ramping up. This guy looks like he's gapping. I'm going to go around him, and right about at 200 meters, everybody goes. And so here's the big sprint for these positions, and I am able to go over top of these guys and hold them off for four extra spots at the finish. So, and again, this counts double, so I was happy I could do that. And that's the end of the race. So finishing 29th, I'm quite happy with that. I think that's a little higher than I normally would finish, or have been finishing in these races. So cool. And I think that was a good end to the season. So hope this was at least mildly entertaining, and thanks for watching.